Michael, this should come as no surprise, but I think the numbers what surprises us more. Fallout TV show spurred a near 5 times the jump in hours played for the franchise on Game Pass. Alex Devin over at IGN. It's a little secret that Prime Video's Emmy-nominated Fallout series reinvigorated interest in the game since, well, it came to massive numbers with the Fallout TV show, right? I think that's the biggest thing right there. During Microsoft's Q4 earnings call just the other day, CEO Satya Nadella took a moment to talk about the company's gaming division, touting that it now has more than 500 million monthly active users across all platforms and devices. He also talked about how game properties owned by Microsoft have been making the leap to film and TV, pointing to a previously revealed stat that Fallout became Prime Video's second most watched show after its premiere in April. It drew an absolutely massive 65 million viewers in its first 16 days, according to Amazon's own numbers. What's new, however, is the assertion from Nadella's that hours played on Game Pass for Fallout franchise increased nearly 5 times quarter over quarter after the debut of the Prime Video series. It's only the latest information we've gotten about Fallout. The show drew players and obviously drew them to the games. Michael, that's the biggest thing for me right there. It's no big surprise. It sparks interest, right? Last while ago over on HBO, we got The Last of Us. Dude, we couldn't wait for something to get more information and get back into the world of The Last of Us. Nothing really kind of came about it. We did get the remaster of Part 2, which then did bring over the roguelike mode, which was fantastic, no return. And then when you get into Fallout now, it only makes sense. People wrap up, they get a hunger, they want to play.
And I mean, I think for me, the best part about this is that, unfortunately for the Fallout franchise, it had sort of fallen on some hard times. Fallout 76, not the game everybody wanted it to be. Fallout 4 was kind of that last beacon from their glory days. So that's what I like to see. And the other part of me is it feels like this is good news for video game TV shows. We talked last week about the atrocity that was the Halo series, but this just proves if you do it right, you put time into your gaming series, it not only will draw viewers, but it'll draw people back to your game, and that's what I want to see. As a gamer, I feel like we spent decades, every video game movie fails, every video game TV show fails, and you're like, wow, I'm never going to get my favorite franchise as a show. I'm never going to get to explore that universe outside the game. But this Fallout series was amazing to watch. If you haven't, I would recommend you go check it out, but it also proves if you do it right, these video game TV shows absolutely can blow up, and that's what I'm personally the most excited about.
Absolutely. Fallout 76 saw over 1 million players in a single day. Like, that's the hunger that actually thrived on, right? So, Michael, let's look to the future of Xbox right now. If you're Xbox, and you've just had the huge success, obviously, when it came to Fallout, what's the next show you're working on?
Oh, man. I think...
and this... Bacon, everybody see smoke.
They wouldn't need this to help the franchise out, but I mean, if they pull it out with Fallout, I think Call of Duty is that one franchise that I feel like if we could have a good Call of Duty game, especially when we go into the future stuff, the old stuff would be a little bit hard because then you're doing revisionist history, but that was the first franchise that popped up to mind when I saw this, and I'm like, okay, we tried Halo, that didn't work. The other iconic franchise was Call of Duty. Those were sort of the big two in the early 2000s. I would love a amazing Call of Duty series, though. I don't know if it'll happen, but Drew, what about you? What games come to your mind that you would want to see?
A lot of us, I mean, okay, so there's a game I had to pick up the minute I bought an Xbox. It was Fable. I don't know if you could actually pull that off. However, where I really do kind of think the future does lie, and I maybe even heard rumors of it, was Gears. I think a Gears adaptation... Right? Seriously, when you think about it, when you think about the lineup of how we can get into a Gears TV show, man, there's options to start at the very beginning for those who don't know Gears, right? Who are not familiar with that franchise. And then let's move it forward and then build over to the years. And what happens is that you get ready for Gears 6 to drop when the show drops. If they could line that up, oh man, it would explode. People would love it. Dude, I was a big fan of Gears 5. I talk about it all the time. Beat the whole game with my wife. It was one of the best moments I've ever had in gaming. Can't wait to do it again in Gears 6. However, when we're looking for this quality now in the TV show adaptations, I think Gears has the pull that you can expect, maybe pull in the hardcore, but you have to pay attention to the hardcore and don't go for the let's take off the Chief's helmet scenario, right? That's the last thing. That's why you lost everybody when it came to Halo, because they weren't faithful to the franchise. That's something they need to pay attention to. That's something that they were able to kind of hone in on when it came to Fallout, right? It felt like a Fallout game on TV. That's the hook. If they can pull that off with Gears, dude, it would set them up for huge numbers.
The moment you said Gears, everything clicked, and then you hit it on the head. Gears fans will know they just got to get the Dom scene right. We all know what scene we're talking about. If they get that scene right, they'll do great. If they pull a helmet off move with that show would absolutely disappoint. But no, Gears would be awesome if you nail the Dom scene. And everybody knows what I'm talking about if you played Gears. That is probably the best scene in the entire franchise. But man, I can't believe I didn't think of Gears. Now I'm upset. Call of Duty seems way lame compared to the Gears pick. You got me once again, Drew.
We'll see what happens. We want to hear from you. What franchise would you pull over to the TV side? ITGTV.com.